there seems to be a shift from the political parties to the candidates. You heard people say that it's no longer about the political parties, it's about the candidates. So are we jettisoning the idea of political party? Because we know in every election, on the ballot papers, you find the political parties there. You're not going to find the names of the candidates. So what does this portend for the Edo State governorship election? That's our conversation today on the program. And from our extreme left, let me welcome former Ovia Southwest Council Chairman, former member of Edo State House of Assembly, Comrade Destiny Enabulede. Thank you for joining us.
A pleasure to be here again. Thank you very much.
We also have with us here in the studio a member of the PDP Campaign Council media team, Comrade Christopher Ojekere. Thank you for joining us. We also have with us here a member of the APC Campaign Council media team, Comrade Emmanuel Aigbogu. Many thanks for joining us on the program.
Thank you, and thank you, viewers at home.
We also have joining us online, well, a member of the PDP, but a strong supporter of the Senator Monday Okpebholo campaign organization, Bob Manuel Umoru. Thank you for joining us, Bob Manuel.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, hello people, and thank you for having me.
Okay, let's get into the conversations. Are we moving from the strength and the capacity and the manifesto and the agenda of the political parties to who the candidate is, or who the candidate was, or what has the candidate done in the past, and what is the candidate promising? Because if that's the situation, what does it portend for democracy? But before we get to that stage, what are our expectations from this election? Let me begin with you, Comrade Destiny.
Well, let me again appreciate ITV management for this opportunity to interface with the people of Edo State. You see, as enumerated, there's no way you can rule out the antecedents of a candidate. The antecedents, it matters. For us, the issue of party running election, bringing every term, every shades of human beings that have nothing upstairs to pilot the affairs of Edo State, I think that's gone with the 1999, so to speak, elections. What we have now, the people are more aware of their political destiny. It's in their hands. A quick one is just the last national elections. You will agree with me that it swept majority of us off our feet, because none of us expected that twist of event. So for us, I think it has gravitated from the party election to an individual that is featuring in that election. That's to do with your meta capacity, the ability to be able to sway the people, to be able to to win the people to your side. See, let's be very sincere. I use the word that's gone to the 1999 election. You will agree with me that the allocation, the federal allocation that is coming, it's not even enough now to pay salaries. So we must look inward. And in doing that, we need, quote unquote, what you will refer to as marketer. Somebody that we can be able to market the state, to be able to win some leverage, whether in the national or the international scene. That's what we want now.
Okay.
So there's no way. See, if you don't have it, you don't have it. There's no way you can give what you don't have. So for us, the Edo people, we're always a pace setter. And I believe for sure that again we will replicate what we've done in the past 80 years. And as God will have it, I think there is a necessary foundations for the coming government to start. You see, the foundation, as we speak very just now, is very solid.
All right. Chris, you share in these sentiments in terms of the expectations in these elections?
Yeah, expectations are usually contextual attitudes. By that I mean people expect according to the context of situation. If you live in a run-down economy, where people are hardly able to afford a meal in 2 days, it used to be a meal a day, but it has increased to a meal in 2 days, where through the unnecessary bravado of the leader of that economy, tremor was introduced into the economy and shock and fears for which Nigeria have not recovered till now. And therefore, traders, especially the independent marketers, reacted knee-jerk. And then that has affected every sector, where people can no longer commute, even to their offices, to earn wages that cannot even take them home by the time they are paid. Then a contest is created. People begin to look for, so to speak, a messiah. And that is why party is obliterated. We are not looking for fixers, solutions providers. People are hungry, so they are thinking, who would help us out of this situation, debilitating situation where we have found ourselves? Who will provide the solutions? Who understand our situations and feel the empathy and empathize with us and feel the pain, and therefore with passion and that feeling will put himself into service to help us out. It's no more time for pretenses, because we're in a situation, it's an existential situation where lives are in danger of dying these days of hunger, dying these days of the kind of tension and pressure that is coming upon our society because of a run-down economy by the mismanagement of the federal government. So that is why people are shifting focus. They're not looking for those who will fix. So the expectation is high. The Edo voter, for instance, for 2024 is looking for that man who will do that. Whatever grammar you are speaking or political party you represent, that does not bother them too much, because if you look at the political parties, and people laugh at that and say the political parties does not have much difference in their ideology. They cannot have, because it's the same issues. It's the same issue of hunger, it's the same issue of health. It's the same issue of being able to pay your transportation to the office. It's the same issue of housing. The same issue of... So the political party agenda will sort of look alike. So therefore, we're not looking for who is different. Okay. Not what is different. Who is different? Who will operate this thing that is put down in a way that will feel the benefit. Okay. So that is why emphasis is shifting, and that's the expectation. But there's another kind of expectation. It's interesting we are discussing this. There are those who have not come to live in this reality. They are living in the reality where they have been the beneficiaries of the patrimony of the nation, the patrimony of states. They call themselves by certain names. And so you find, if you look at the movement across political parties, and look at those who are moving from one place to another, you will find that from some parties, those who have always had that sense of entitlement, who think that the party should serve their private interests, who think that there are lots of communities and they should be given all the resources that come to that community so that they can appropriate it to themselves and their family, are not getting it, and they are moving. And they are moving to where it has been promised them that the moment they get to power, or the principal agenda of the person who is in that.
But this movement is across board.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Yes. And the quality of people that are moving.
Yes.
Because, I mean, when you see intelligentials, when you see exposed people moving into a particular party, and their singular complaint is that the candidate of their party is so backward. Let me use that word for want of a better word, that they don't think that even in his next life, we will have the solutions to our problem.
Okay, let me pursue. Let me give me your perspectives on these shifting conversations from political parties to candidates in these Edo state elections.
Well, the issues bordering on political parties to candidates, it has to do more on what the deliverables are on the table. I want you to agree with me that in Edo State, we are being faced with a reality that is left for the political actors to take a decision about. And if you look at it closely, you agree with me that the Obaseki-led administration has found themselves in a fix. And what is needed about them is to put their scorecard forward to tell Edo people this is what our party has been able to put forward on the table for Edo people. What are those deliverables? Is it the demolition? Is it the high-handedness and disrespect for traditional institutions? Is it the substandard rules that are built across the city in the name of urbanization? You see, the realities on ground is what determines the political outcome. The center, as it is in Edo, the capital, is being reduced to the political landmark achievement we have witnessed under Comrade Adams Ali Oshomole. You could agree with me that the Oshomole-led government brought in the Obaseki leadership. And after the Obaseki leadership came in under the mantra of APC, continuity, they seem to have a disaccord with the realities on ground, ranging from the Benin Water Storm project, up to the issues that border on human capital development, up to the issues that border on security. As we speak today, despite the fact that the state government has resorted to voluntary support to create security needs of our people, they seem not to have a direct focus on it. It is one training or the other, it is one story or the issue, bounding courtism and this. They seem not to have a grip on what the issues are. So in all of this, it gives you the direction of where we are going. Is that, are people happy with all of these things? And where are we going? I want to disagree with some of my brothers who are here, who are blaming the man at the center, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, for crying out loud since the removal of subsidy. I have not seen anybody who came out to condemn that removal. They've all been getting bogus revenues. The local government is benefiting, nothing to show, obviously. The states are also benefiting, increased revenue to the states from FAC. And you see where we are finding ourselves. You know, for some of us, we want to marry reality and give a direction to say that it is time for people to decide whether or not we want to continue on this path or look for an alternative.
Okay. Thank you very much. Let me link up with Comrade Omobude Bob Manuel Umoro, who is joining us online to give us his thoughts on the expectations from Edo 2024 governorship election. I hear people say this election is a test of what the present administration in Edo State has done or hasn't done. What are your thoughts, Comrade Bob Manuel?
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. The 2024 gubernatorial election is an issue-based matter. It's not a matter that we just look at the table of rights and things and then it comes to emotion or because we are related or we are not affiliated. What are the issues today? What are the stakeholders asking for? And who are the stakeholders? The Edo people are set the number one stakeholder on any table when it comes to issues that have to do with governance and all of it. Today, are there issues in Edo State?
Oh, I wouldn't know exactly. That didn't come from me, but Manuel, I'm sure you can reconnect with us again so we can establish that conversation and continue with it to a logical conclusion. But unfortunately, that line got tossed. I'm sure it's a network problem. I hope we'll be able to re-establish connection with us immediately for us to continue with that conversation. But let me quickly, okay, we've got Bob Manuel back with us now. Bob Manuel, please go ahead with the point you were making. Yeah.
Okay, sir. You can hear me, sir?
Yes, loud and clear. Go ahead.
All right. What the people are asking for today is what in political science we call a philosopher king. How be it? It may be scarce, but we'll continue the search. What are the issues that the people are facing today, that the stakeholders are facing today? There is high insecurity in this state. Let them address. I said it on countless times. 2 members of my family on 2 different occasions were kidnapped within the administration of Godwin Obaseki. You expect me, a party man, to fold my hands after my family has spent money for ransom? Today, as I speak to you, there were times that my community had to call on me. You campaigned for Obaseki in 2020. Floods are taking over our community. The governor is not here. As I speak today, Governor Obaseki has not entered East Central, except the region to Ward 9 and Ward 10, to visit the people, to see the state of things as destroyed by the flood. Instead, what do? We allow the people to fend for themselves. As I speak to you today, communities in my school do not have teachers.
Go back to history. Never. It was, quote unquote, NLC president, you know, traversing the length and breadth of this country. He never lived in this. This is a man that has been part and parcel of Oshomole's government. I'm happy that even Comrade Adams Oshomole, His Excellency, has one time or the other, accepted or perhaps let us know that this man served in his government. And again, here in Obaseki government, he has been in the economic team for 8 years. 8 years running. And you are telling me that he's alien to the Edo people. Oh, for God, for crying out loud. For me, that is political. You see, for us, we allow our political inclination becloud our sense of, cognitive reasoning. objectively, because we are shifting, we are leaving the substance and begin to pursue the shadow.
What is the substance?
The substance is who has the capacity to deliver to the Edo people what we want, all of us, across board, from Igobazowa to Akoko Edo, from Akoko Edo to Lakbese, to Ubiaja, and the likes. This is a man proud to this very moment. He has traversed this area. He has been to Igobazo, has been to, just name it. And you are saying this man is not known. To some of us, you are not telling us that if I decide to give birth in Lagos, and I'm an indigenous of Edo, then if by tomorrow I want to vie for that, I'm no longer an indigenous of Edo. That's why I say, I use the word, they are leaving the substance. I begin to pursue the shadow. Okay, this thing, we are trying to, we've gone past the era of hallelujah, or akara, and mamai polythinking. These days, a child, those that are calling the shots politically, they are below 30. They are calling the shot politically. They are not aware of what he's saying. Majority of us, as I speak very just now, can't even speak our mother dialect. Can't even speak our native language, and you are not using that as the basis to him disqualify a very competent and a dumb man.
Is that too pedestrian for you?
For me, it is pedestrian.
Okay, let me proceed. Yeah, no, you quickly need to answer that point.
Is it a lingua franca? For me, I spent about 6 months in the House of Assembly. We never use our local language to preside or to deliberate in the floor of the House.
Okay.
So for me,
and yet you were a chairman of a local government.
I was a chairman of a local government.
It didn't affect you.
It didn't affect me.
All right.
So that's why I use the word very infected and pedestrian.
Okay, let me get Chris involved here.
What can this man offer?
Let me get Chris in. Chris, can you talk to us here?
Okay, I really don't want to go into those pedestrianism because I just want to address two lies which I'm very disappointed that Bob Manuel can tell. One, that Asra Godado said he didn't know this thing. There's no point, there's no time where he could even say that. Now, the second lie, and when people use language, they should understand what they are saying, that he's not in the system. Destiny tried to even say he's been in the system for 8 years. He's been in the system for 16 years.
I said 16 years.
Yes, but Manas cited Oshomole, and he cited Oshomole. Asra Godalo was part of the board of the economic team of Oshomole, from where he transited into Obaseki and was the chairman and Lagodaro board. Now, it calls for some level of education here. The reason why Obaseki keeps coming up is because we are struggling between building a sustainable state and continuing with the former status quo, where the only governance we know is money comes from Abuja and the so-called leaders appropriate it. We have a 30-year plan which Obaseki started. We have now come to see that the oil revenue from the federal has not only dwindled, it is about actually going into extinction because every part of the world now is developing alternative energy sources. And so these gentlemen, with their background in economics, banking, and investment, understand that if you do not invest for a state the way you invest for yourself and your children as an individual, the state is going to go under, just as it has gone under now in the other 36 states of the Federation. Obaseki is the only governor in Edo State, I mean in Nigeria, that is paying 70,000 naira minimum wage, and that's a benchmark.
Lagos is doing that too.
Okay. I mean, Lagos is always separated because Lagos was the former colony.
Yeah.
Lagos was the former headquarters. So if you want to compare the investments of Lagos, and they are able to pay 70,000 that Obaseki is paying, then that makes even Obaseki's 70,000 to be 10 times the value that Lagos is paying. Because you have 10 times the investment that Lagos has. And so that tells you the ingenuity that is going into it. Now, it's spoke about human capital development. We have the best civil service in Nigeria. First, in terms of infrastructure that has provided the ambience for workability, conducive working environment. Can anybody, if you don't understand the paperwork, are you blind to the secretariat building? It's the finest in Africa, in Nigeria. I lived almost all my adult life in Abuja. Go to the federal secretary, they don't have space in the offices.
But these are not new projects, Comrade Christopher Ojekere.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
There were projects that have been there many years before Obaseki came. Through the other social media that they mentioned, it was toilets. So Obaseki had done it and is building new projects there. The Treasury House is a new project going on right now from start to finish. A 1,500 capacity seater is going on there now with canteens. It's going on there now. The Secretariat does not only boast of physical infrastructure, the most trained civil servants with e-governance. September 1st, we went paperless in this state. I mean, May 1st. Also, we went paperless in this state.
Okay.
We are the only state that transact government business with technology. That means that we are accountable, transparent, and we're saving a lot of money.
Okay. Okay.
Now, let me finish because I want to let them understand the modern states.
Yeah.
In these states, through Obaseki's administration, because when you say somebody is paying 70,000 naira, and you say there is dwindling revenue from the federal, I should expect people to sit down and say, where is he getting the money from? We are getting the money from the IGRO. In this state, we have 2 refineries running. 2 refineries. Ethanol, which is the product with which you take care of beverages and pharmaceutical company, produces about 400 million liters that feeds the entire country. And then the greatest producer of ethanol, Novak, is coming to invest 20 billion naira in Edo to set up the 3rd ethanol factory. We already have 2, and our share capital in the market for producing ethanol is huge. And the corresponding IGRO that we make.
No, I heard you say 2 refineries, but that has not affected the price of petrol. Are you talking about the petrol refinery, or what kind of refinery are you talking about?
Petroleum products.
Okay.
Diesel and all the other. You have all other products.
Yes.
Not only petrol.
Okay.
And now you know the laws. That's another reason why we're fighting for restructuring. The laws that suffocate, for instance, electricity. When we had our first electricity plant here, the federal laws is that you have to feed the federal grid and then distribute.
Okay.
That's why we went for Osium,
Okay.
who is giving us light now, taking care of all the industrial areas, taking care of NUJ, that you belong to that constituency and you are enjoying it. So, taking care of the federal secretariat, taking care of the production hub in Sapele Road. We have the best nursing school in the sub.
Okay, Chris, I'll pause you. I'll pause you. No, hold on. Yes, I will pause you. Yes, I will pause you here.
So that we know that we are building a modern
you have to do it within the time we've allocated to you. Let me get him to respond to some of the issues that have been raised. But I'd like to ask this question. If you own a company and you are to do an interview to recruit new staff into that company, what would be your benchmark? What are those things you're going to look out for in your recruitment?
Well, while doing that recruitment, I would look for capacity.
And how will you relate that to Edo 2024 in terms of quality and capacity?
The truth about it is that relating it to Edo 2024 has to do with somebody who understands the need of the people, not the wants. I want to make you understand, as I speak to you today, history has it that the candidate of the APC has done more in terms of corporate social responsibility to his people. The Edo Central as a whole. This is a man who has done more projects than the state government when it has to do with providing water to their people. We all know how the geographical issue is with Edo Central. This is a man that has more than 1 boreholes in every local government. I use the word more than 1. In some local government, you can enjoy 10 from him. The facts are there, they speak for him. He has never found himself in the corridors of power, except contesting for the Senate office. This is a man against a man who has become, in quotes, a policy maker for 16 years with the Edo State government that has virtually not connected that presence in governance to his people. As I speak to you today, the issues are all over the town, and people are saying it. Esan Central had an issue of insecurity, and people's sons, illustrious sons, were called to come and show their support. The chairman of Sterling Bank, who is now the aspirant of the PDP, was called. He only gave a donation of 100,000. Whereas the
candidate, you have that for your information. You have
not an aspirant.
Just hold on. Not an aspirant. He's a candidate of the party. He is the candidate.
Just let's take it one at a time. We are very, very in an
But is
issue of
security
dialogue.
not the exclusive preserve of the federal government?
I'm coming. When you talk about preserve, the governor in the states collect security votes. Is it not at their own discretion also? Now, I want to earlier correct an impression my brother said here, that Edo State government is paying 70,000. I have a common understanding of the removal of subsidy and the ripple effects in our state economy as it is today. Since the removal of subsidy, Edo State has enjoyed robust allocation from the center. In fact, double of what it used to receive. So,
what about other states of the federation?
I'm coming, please.
Justin, hold on.
No, we are educating the people.
Just hold on. You have your time. You have your time.
No, you are misleading.
No, you have your time.
You are misrepresenting the fact.
No,
he's misrepresenting the fact.
You have to wait for your time, Destiny. Hold
He's
on.
misrepresenting.
Because you don't make this conversation
No, we should not allow it.
I want them to pause your mic. I want them to pause your mic.
It is Senator Gotti that wants it.
Hold on. I'll pause you.
We are dialoguing. I believe this is a center for intellectual discourse. Whatever thing I'm saying here, I can back it with facts. You're a member of the, you used to be a member of the Edo State House of Assembly. And for crying out loud, you knew what the allocation was before your inception. And you just left over tribunal issues. And you knew what you were receiving while, as allocation to the state, while appropriating laws for Edo people. I stand to be corrected on the basis of issues and facts. You would agree with me that before the removal of subsidy, Edo State has narrowly received allocation between the range of 6 to 5 billion on monthly basis.
So what is it today?
As of today, we get as much as 10 to 12 to 13
and
billion.
You have a new minimum wage implemented in the state.
Listen. This is a revenue that is coming because of the removal of subsidy.
So are you saying the minimum wage is too low compared to the revenue? Is that what you're saying?
No, the minimum wage is not too low. They are only being able to make that political statement and policy of government because of the benefit from the center.
Okay.
It is not that I'm coming, sir. We are dialoguing here.
Okay.
Now, the money received to the state as allocation has to do with monies to local governments and to state governments. Now the question to ask is, since the increment of these monies to the states, what are the policies of government or what are the capital projects of government that have marked the net?
Okay.
The projects that are currently going on in the states are projects that have been done since the first tenure. Governor Obaseki has been renovating the secretariat for over 8 years. They are still working there to date. The issue of security, you agree with me that despite the fact that the governor gets as much as 700 to 800 million naira on monthly basis, the vigilantes who are volunteers are not being taken care of.
Okay, let me pause you there. Let me pause you because we're going to
tools to work. Now, that's what you do. I want to say this in rounding up, please.
Okay, quickly.
I want you all to please look at the security architecture of the state in terms of what we see other governors doing. Very soon, very recently, the governor of Kaduna State came out to display varieties of security gadgets given to the security agencies to work.
Let me pause you there. Let me pause you.
Okay, thank you.
Let me pause you. Let me just get the contributions from Comrade Omobude Bob Manuel Omoro, who is joining us online. All of that is happening in the state in terms of the questions that are being asked, in terms of the candidates that the political parties are putting forth. You have said that it's all about the candidates or not the political parties. And I asked the question, if you have a company and you want to make recruitment, what would be the indices? What would be the benchmarks for you to make such a recruitment to fill your company? And how would you relate that to the quest for governorship amongst these political parties for the 2024 governorship election? Bob Manuel.
Thank you. I am also real estate and I have my company, Zillion Corporation. And let me tell you the truth. Of all the persons I got involved in the marketing department, guess what? The man with just an ordinary SSE, perhaps you see him as a dropout, gives me most of the most valuable customers I've ever had. His way of convincing people to deal with us is second to none in my team. I said that. Now, in employing people into my company, I will look first at your capacity. And what are these capacities? Your capacity to deliver on the goals of the company. I have a different school of thought. I don't look at what you present to me just on paper. If your paper is not relating to what you have upstairs, I don't accept that. I accept more of your capacity. Having been a trainer and a resource fellow for companies, I know what it takes to employ people. I look at your capacity, I look at your emotional composure, I look at your ability to deliver on the goals that are set before you. In relating that to the candidates of the 2024, these two candidates, let me explain them in 1 minute. We have a candidate in my party today, in the People's Democratic Party, who was said that he is XYZ of Sterling Bank, only for us to understand that the person could not even deliver Sterling Bank, could not bring Sterling Bank to the pedestal of global banks today, of digital banks like Zenith Bank, like UBA, like First Bank, like GTB, and all the rest of it. Leave that out of it. The same man we are talking about was in charge of the Nigerian breweries as its chairman for a certified tenure. And it is on record today, it is on news, that Nigerian breweries made a loss of 145 billion naira in 2023 alone under the watch and control of the same Aston Godalo. See, sometimes we overpackage empty vessels, thinking that there are containers that can deliver oil.
Okay, let me just ask you this question. Let me ask you this question, Comrade Umoru. Let me just ask you this question.
Yes, sir.
Who takes charge of the day-to-day running of a company? Is it the chairman or the managing director and chief executive? And in that light, how do you substantiate some of those figures that you just banded now in terms of who takes charge of the company? I mean, you profile yourself as someone who has worked with several multinational companies as a resource person, and I believe you should be in the know, maybe be the best person in the know in this conversation, in this discourse, on who has the mandate, direct mandate in the day-to-day running of a company.
The mandate on the day-to-day running of a company rests on the managing director, on the authority of the chairman.
God bless you.
On the authority of the chairman. The bulk of it, success or failure, ends on the chairman's table. The chairman has the right, the prerogative, to make changes to things that are lackadaisical, are not producing results. So it ends on the table of the chairman. And that is why I said that if we could have a loss of 145 billion under the watch of Aswell as chairman, then it is going to be a colossal error, and it's going to be stupidity on the people of Edo State to hand over the commonwealth of the people, the future and the posterity of this state to a man that cannot manage and a company under his watch for XYZ figures.
Okay, I will pause you here now, Comrade Omobid. I'll pause you here because we are pressed for time and we need to open our studio line so we can get views and perspectives from our viewers and listeners across the world. Just hold the line. We'll get back to you in a moment. Okay, it's still politics today on independent television and radio. Expectations for Edo 2024 in terms of the shift in conversation from the political parties to the quality and capacity of the candidates that the political parties are featuring is taking the front burner on our conversation today. So we'll have our studio line open, 080-7777-0300. Dial that number right now and let's get your take. I believe we have our first caller. Hello, caller. Good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. Good morning, caller. What's your name? Yes, go ahead. Go ahead. Yes, what's your name? All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes, I understood that no leadership is here. We will not satisfy everybody. Mostly those on opposition side. They must support against any government in power.
Okay.
But leadership is all about truthfulness, honesty, and transparency.
Okay.
That's the leadership. The money you are using is for public money. It's not your own. So that's the you show to the people you are serving. But in Nigerian politics, it's very case. That's why we are having problems here and there. I believe Nigerian getting all this development here and there. So the little that many of us believe that my brother has done, let it be sustained by the coming government. So what I'm trying to say is that the incoming government will do more than Obaseki. The state of Obaseki has not done anything. It cannot satisfy anybody.
Okay.
Anything has done, let the incoming administration continue from that. From the little to it also be wanting to be.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Our studio line is still open, 08077770300. Tell us your name and where you're calling from, and then go ahead with your contribution. Hello, caller. Good morning. What's your name and where you calling us from? Good morning. Good morning.
This is USA on the line.
Yes, USA. Go ahead. You have just 1 minute. Yeah.
Yes, my brother, I have no apology. I'm highly disappointed. And I repeat, I am highly disappointed.
Disappointed with who or with what?
Yeah, listen, brother, this is not the time to pretend. I'm highly disappointed in the sense that my good brothers in the studio, they are not discussing the suffering. Democracy is something of salary. It's not whether you have capacity or not. None of this is discussing what democracy represents. What I'm going to say now, if it is a lie, I need them to find out. Number one, when is democracy, you are talking of moral foundation. Once moral foundation is there, the issue of stealing the people's wealth is out of the way. Number two, when you are practicing democracy, you are talking of strategic and what creative leadership. When it is there, to guidely secure the future of your state. Number three, nobody is talking how we're going to combat the natural resources in our environment to win in the process to create just security that comes up at stake. Number four, we are not talking of how we use the issue of religion and what ethnicity to build a harmonious state or by unification a nation. Nobody is discussing that. It's always elementary issue. This one to pay salary. They're just discussing democracy is something that the Americans are.
Okay, thank you, USA. I'll give you 1 minute, and let's take our final call on the show today. The number is 08077770300. Hello, caller. Good morning. You are last caller for the show today. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. Okay, go ahead from Auchi. Yes. Go ahead.
Everybody in the studio, often true, the government has really failed us, especially in Nigeria. This is how this current government was imposed on us, and we all voted, and it came to power, zero roads, hospitals are not working, education is flawed, nothing is happening. Now they are bringing another person again. No, we want somebody who knows the state, who knows the pain of the people, who knows what the people want, not somebody who has been very far. Now you are coming in, they are telling us we are behind before, now they want to come to the front. No, we want somebody who will affect us positively.
Okay, that's the most we can take on the calling segment. Well, let's just click maybe 30 seconds to summarize our views and perspectives.
Let me quickly appreciate you again. You see, whether USA or something, they talked about the issue of that is elementary. It's very unfortunate that it's not abreast with the nitty-gritty of politicking and politics in Edo State.
Final thoughts.
When you talk about democracy, you see, we must be very sincere. You talked about morality. You see, let me just leave it. Let me try to address some of the issues he raised. He talked about the issue of salary. I listened very keenly that some majority of the state governors, they told the presidency that they cannot afford to pay 62,000 naira minimum wage. And here you are, somebody is paying 70,000. You are saying that it's not doing well.
Is that a major factor in this election?
It's not the major factor. See, we must no. It's not the major factor. He raised another issue of insecurity that has bedeviled as if it's only Edo State, even in the Federal Capital Territory. Last week, if I'm not mistaken, or this week, if I'm not mistaken, a retired general was murdered in the Federal Capital Territory. And you are talking about that. Okay. When you and I know that our problem as a state and as a nation is for us to restructure.
All right, let me get a final word from you.
It should be understood that well-being, people's livelihoods, is what democracy is about. Managing the resources to take care of people to live. 40 years of gratuity is being paid by Obaseki. Our fathers
and mothers are no longer dying in ring roads.
Okay, thank you.
When they were dying, they were calling the Ayilala wearing red.
Thank you. Let me get
Hold on.
Let me.
The federal government cannot pay 70. And you are saying the resources are coming.
Let me get a final word from you, Comrade Emmanuel. Yes,
I want to believe. I want to believe we are here for a dialogue.
Go ahead with your point. I'm rounding up now.
And the truth about it is that Edo people understand where it pains them. In my final submission, I want to please beg everybody to go out there and ensure that they collect their PVCs. And in the interest of democracy, Edo people will decide. Because
all right, that's our program today on Politics Today on Independent Television and Radio.